Hi kids. Yeah, this has been an exciting series of WFET. That's right. I'm Farmer Fred, Francis, Frank, Ferder, Ferdinand, Flugella. But people around here just call me... No, they call me Frank. Who's Joe? Huh? No, of course. People around here call me Joe. Today, we're going to end up talking about God is love. That's right. Love is not bragging. Love is not selfish. Love is not rude. Love is patient and kind. And that's who God is. And God showed his love to us in, well, we're going to be taking a look at it at this episode of WFET. But if you want a hint, you know what? God showed his love to us in Jesus. That's right. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's probably about Jesus today. That's right. So are you ready for this episode of WFET? Go ahead and stand up, turn around 3 times, and go ahead and say hi to your neighbor, and we'll get on with this episode of WFET. Here we go.
And now it's time for what? Fruit is it? No vegetables allowed. It's also known as the alligator pear. Its tree produces 1,200 fruit annually. Holy guacamole! It rhymes with bravo, Tato. It rhymes with bravo, Tato. Avocado.
I'm not going to freak out. Breathe, Willie, breathe. Ooh. I just got back from the supermarket with my mom. We were at the produce section. Saw a bunch of my friends in the fruit. The fruit section. This cannot be. Am I not? Guys, vegetable. There is no vegetable section. My tireless work. Oh, this is it. This is where we've come. This is the day. Today is the day. Guys, girls, friends, they say that God is love. Well, today's the day to prove that. We have to change this, you guys. They're my friends. Kids that I grew up with. Kids that I have known forever. In the fruit section, guys, we're vegetables. We're fruit. We're veggies. Guys, God is love. And We are vegetables. And that is that. I haven't been rude. I have been kind and patient. And that's what God is. God is love. God is patient. God is kind, and He is not rude. That's what I have been, guys, and that's what you need to be. Let's say it together, guys. God is love. Pledge, call, 5555555, and then a bunch of other fives. Vegetable. 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 That's what I am. Thank you. Willie, out.
It's Bible time! Jacob White. Because he's nice to me most of the time.
I think my sister, because I've known her since ever since she was born. Well, when this year when my grandma passed away, he has comforted a lot of our family members.
A lot of the time, he talks to me.
When me and my sisters get in fights, I always feel like I have to say sorry to her, and God just helps me say sorry because it's kind of hard sometimes.
We could have been unloving when I don't know.
When Judas betrayed him in the Bible, he didn't get mad at him. He just let the soldiers take him.
He showed how he loved me. I think yesterday I was really mad at my sister for messing up the game, and then quit, and then Jesus said don't quit on her just because of a game.
He just let the soldiers take him.
Hey kids, I'm back for the last Bible verse of this session, so I hope you're going to miss me because I'm going to miss being here. It's kind of a sad day when it's the last one, but you know what? They're all on DVD. You just got to ask Gary for them, and you can see me over and over and over and over until you're dreaming about me at night, and talking about me to your parents, and that I'm the next Justin Bieber or something, I could go viral on the internet. 13. 13. 13. 13. 13. 13. 13. Yeah, 13. 13. 13. Yeah, 13. But that's just my dream, okay, back to the verse. Oh man, sorry. I was going someplace else. I'm sorry about that, kids. Okay, last Bible verse. What book are we in? Oh, come on. You know it. We've done it 4 weeks in a row. What book are we in? Yep, Corinthians. You're right. Corinthians chapter 13. 13. 13. Corinthians 13. We've been there the whole month. That's the book with the fruit of the Spirit. So we're once again talking about fruit. Whoa! I don't know about this fruit thing, kids. I'm glad in some ways this is the last week. Okay, so we're in 1 Corinthians 13. So everybody, again, standing up. Okay, here we go. 1 Corinthians 13. This time we're in 7 and 8. So the hands get a little tricky here. Counting gets a little tricky. So it's 1 Corinthians 13, 7, and 8. And now the first word is it. Now every week up until now, the first word has been love. This week the first word is it, and it means, yep, you got it, it means love. So we're going to do the same thing. It. It because we're hugging ourselves, because we love ourselves, because we love to get hugs. It always trusts. Like you're shaking hands with somebody. When you buy a car, especially a used car, you want to shake their hand because that shows you trust them. So it always trusts, always hopes, you're hoping for ice cream again, and always endures, like you're running a race, you're enduring the race. So love does three things. It trusts, it hopes, and it endures. So we're going to go, it always trusts, always hopes, and always endures. You got that so far? So where were we? We're in 1 Corinthians 13, 7, and 8. It always trusts, always hopes, and always endures. And love never ends. Like you're looking for the end of it. Still don't see it. I know it's out there somewhere, but I don't see it. So love never ends, right? Love never ends. You're looking for the end of it. So from the top, it's 1 Corinthians 13, 7, and 8. It always trusts, always hopes, and always endures. And love never ends. Okay, one last time, because this one's a little rougher than last week. Last week's was really short. This week's is a little longer. So we're going to do it one more time because I want to make sure you get it for the contest. You ready? It's 1 Corinthians 13, 7, and 8. It always trusts, always hopes, and always endures. And love never ends. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like God. So could we say that God is love? I think so. I think that'd be a really good thing to say, is God is love. So as we leave this week and end this whole month of Through the Spirit, remember, God is love. See you next time.
Hi kids, Gary here. I know with the economy the way it is, it's hard to make that extra money, moolah, cash, bucks, spabungo, dough, spending money, dollars. Well, here at WFET, we understand that and want to give you a chance to earn some. Each week, there's going to be a question. And if you know the answer to the question, all you have to do is email me at Gary@FathersHouseChurch.com. We'll draw one winner each week, and that winner will be given $5. Now, at the end of the series, everyone who's entered will get a chance to win $25. Go ahead and turn to your neighbor and say 25. One entry per person per day, and you have to have your parents' permission to email me at Gary@FathersHouseChurch.com. Remember, email your answers each week to Gary@FathersHouseChurch.com, and we'll go ahead and have a drawing this week. Are you ready for the question? Well, here it comes right now. The question of the week is, God is love. So what is God like? Watch your hands there. I pity the food who puts their hands on Mr. P. That's right, it's Mr. P here, and I'm here for the challenge of the week. The challenge this week is to know that God loves you. Know it. Know it, I say. Mr. P says know it. Know it, 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 know it. You're going to know it. Know that God loves you. You know that God loves you, and he's always patient and kind. He's never rude. He never brags about himself. He's always just loving you. God is loving you, and so you got to know that God loves you this week. You know what? Sometimes Mr. P, he just says it to himself. He says, you know, I know that God loves me. When he's in a tough situation, you know what he says? I know that God loves me. When he's in a rough situation, you know what Mr. P says? Do ya? Well, Mr. P says, I know that God loves me. When you're in a situation at school, you know what Mr. P says? That's right, that God loves you. Why don't you try that this week? When you're in a situation this week, you could just say to yourself, God loves me. He does. You know he does. You can count on it. You can take it to the bank. That's right. One thing you can't take to the bank is Mr. P, because they don't let pineapples in the bank. No, they have to go to their own bank, the pineapple bank. That's the challenge this week, is to know it in your mind and know it in your heart. Say it to yourself. God is love. Are you ready? Are you ready for the I'm so smart now? Go ahead and tell yourself, I'm ready for the I'm so smart. And here we go.
It's time for I'm so smart. It's time for I'm so smart.
WFET would like to thank its sponsor, Peyton's Produce. Peyton's Produce, when only the freshest produce will do.